Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I am Mike, and today we are ranking all 5 Predator movies. Yes, I'm not putting Alien vs. Predator in here, and there's a reason for that, and it's because I haven't fucking seen them. But more importantly, it's because I'm hoping that after I get back from vacation and after Jay has seen Prey, it's out on Hulu now, that we can do a live stream ranking where we do all the Predator movies and all the Alien movies, and that'll be a really good time. But I have just refreshed myself on all the... I have just refreshed myself in more ways than one. That's none of your fucking business, Jim. I've just finished pleasuring myself to the Predator franchise. But no, I just finished watching all the Predator movies again in the lead up to Prey. So I thought, let's just rank just the sole Predator movies, you know? And see, more importantly, to see in my mind where Prey ranks. You can check out my review for that down below. It's spoiler free, but I feel like we got into it nice and deep. You know, as much shit as we give Predator sequels, there's nary a fucking terrible one. To me, they were all like right in the middle there. Number 5 for me is going to be Predators. Adrian Brody is a fucking badass, underrated actor who has so much range to him. He seems like a little guy, but he's a tough sumbitch, and he can play a tough sumbitch, and he does in Predators. I thought he was the best part of the movie. The reason Predators is lowest on my list, it's a 6.5 out of 10 for me. And the reason is, there's so much good shit there, but I just feel like they stretched it way too far out. It all got convoluted, and there was just way too much going on. I liked at first the idea of like, oh, this is like Lost. This is like the TV show Lost, but like a Predator version of it, you know, where that sun hasn't moved and the leaves going around in circles. The problem was they didn't know, I feel like, what kind of movie they wanted to make. They didn't make it mysterious enough. Like some of that shit was sort of fun for like 5 minutes, and then you've got the Topher Grace shit, and there's too many characters, and none of the characters were that likable. Alice Braga was really good in it, the lead female in the movie. She was great. I thought she was likable. I liked her character, and I thought she did a good job in the movie. Adrian Brody was likable just because he's just a fucking awesome actor, and he's a badass dude, and I love watching that guy do anything. I'd watch him lick paint. Is that a saying? Probably not. I would watch his sex tape though. What? So they overcasted the movie, they over-expositioned the movie, they overstuffed the movie with everything. Lawrence Fishburne has a whole side story in the movie, and I love Lawrence Fishburne, but like, what fucking point did that make in the movie? And at the end, they bring it all the way back around again, where you have this badass scene where Adrian Brody fights a Predator one-on-one. Like, they nailed it at the end, but it was too late. You know, it was just a little bit too late by that point. You're a little bit tired. And then they just walk off into the woods. It's like, now let's find a way to get the fuck off this planet. Like, no, it's still a sad ad. There's no way you're getting off that fuck. That ship is gone, Jim. The van was supposed to be here at 8. The van's not fucking coming. You're on a different planet, which that was cool, by the way, when they walk out and they see the planet. So even at the end of the day, I even like Predators as a sequel. People are probably already yelling, shitting their pants, cursing me out, saying, how the fuck are you going to put some of these movies above this movie? I have a very bad, but my own explanation for that. Just hang tight, okay? And this is also a 6.5 out of 10 for me. Now, this is the one that's going to make people mad because this movie is so fucking hated and just loathed by so many people. And the reason that it's so high for me is that, and so low for others, is that when it came out, we thought it was going to be good. Like, we were promised a bag of fucking goods, man. Shane Black directing, holy shit, it looks awesome. All this crazy shit going on in the movie. And I think we all thought it was actually going to be a very solid sequel. And the sequel the franchise really needed. It's one of those expectation movies that it was not what was expected. It was a disappointment compared to what we thought we were going to get, so nobody saw the goodness in it. For me, if Shane Black puts his trademark commentary on something, I can sense it, like you notice it. And I've always just been a sucker for that. I love that old school type of comedy, and it's laden throughout The Predator. As many shitty moments as this movie has, and I'm a fucking Thomas Jane dude too. I love that guy. So this group that they get together, the loonies, if you remember, and again, this is the first time I've watched it since it came out too, and I was shocked by how much I enjoyed certain parts of this. But the group that they get together, the comedy's fucking hilarious, man. I mean, and the movie's a little zany and weird and kind of fucked up and punk rocking out there too, because, I mean, in the middle of the movie, Boyd Holbrook's character's like, oh no, and they're like, what's wrong? And he takes a shit, and it makes you go, That's so weird. Like, I never thought about that. Like, these characters, right before they're about to do the battle with something, they're like, oh man, I gotta take a dump. I just ate Taco Bell earlier. And this movie has the balls to do stuff like that, which I can appreciate. But for better or worse, I think The Predator is fucking hilarious. And that's one of the main reasons that it's a 6.5 out of 10 for me. As many problems as it has, oh, the CGI was awful. It was just dog shit. But there was some pretty cool, brutal fucking kills too. Like the one point where he kills the dude through the floorboard, and then I'm pretty sure he stuck his thing up the dude's nut sack and then pulls him down. The gag where like 4 heads get cut off at one time. There's some cool moments in there too. The dogs, the CGI dogs. Why are we trying to make Predator dogs a thing? I forgot to say this about Predators. The CGI was fucked. That was ass goblin juice. And it was the same thing here in The Predator. Why are we trying to make Predator dogs happen? Stop doing that. That looked fucking terrible. The CG at the end with the spaceship looked awful. The ending, how corny can the ending of The Predator be when he's like, that's my suit. And you're like, what? Now we're going to wear a fucking Predator suit? Give me Arnold and shut the fuck up, Boyd Holbrook. And the whole kid side plot was just awful. That all being said, I can enjoy watching that movie a lot more than I expected to. When you go back and watch it, some of the action scenes are pretty cool. The idea of like a gigantic T-Rex Terminator fucking fighting, or Predator fighting a smaller Predator and then them having to deal with him. There were some cool action moments in the movie. If you watch it very closely, there's some cool action moments in the movie. But for me, it's just the comedy, the mood of it. It's entertaining. It's scene after scene after scene. It never fucking stops. And a lot of it is disappointing, but still, it's very entertaining. And I find it to be surprisingly one of the more rewatchable sequels. So that's why it beats Predators for me, but it's still pretty low on my list. Number 3, and this was actually close for me. This is where we're going to put Prey. Yes, if you've watched my review, I don't know if you did or not, I enjoyed Prey. I thought they did a good job with the movie. I like the simple plot where we got back and away from all this convoluted exposition and all this shit that movies like Predators and The Predator had, and it got back to basics. We're in the fucking woods. There's a predator whose mom just dropped him off for soccer practice, who's here to fuck you up. You better go get your knife, tie a rope, your axe, and tie a rope around it, and create some Home Alone booby traps, because shit's going the fuck down. And I felt like they got back to basics with this, and I really appreciated it. It landed a 7 out of 10 for me, still not that high. The problems are glaring. It's not just the CG animals that are just awful looking, but it's the whole movie. The whole movie to me looks cheap. It looks like a direct-to-VOD movie. No disrespect to direct-to-VOD movies, but this is a fucking Predator sequel owned by Disney. You all should have done what needed to be done to make this movie look far better than it did. But no, some really inventive kills and a really brutal, well-done, well-made, good-looking Predator, in my opinion, that just, they're all ruined by like terrible CGI blood splatters and a terrible just-looking cinematography, and I thought the sets didn't look that great. I just thought it all looked cheap. And a fucking Predator sequel owned by Disney again, why does it look cheap? But that being said, at the end of the day, Predator's what you're there for, and they made a really cool Predator, and they had a really good lead in Amber Midthunder, and I just thought that they streamlined it. They did what they found the soul of Predator, and they had the idea there that some of these past movies really missed on by overcomplicating things, and they made it entertaining, and they had some great fight scenes, some great kill scenes, some stuff like that. But overall, just missed out on being great because they just didn't make it look good enough. Number 2, this one is just a strange one. This is what I mean. This is a really hard list to make, man. But number 2 for me is going to be Predator 2. It's crazy because this could be someone's most hated shit fuck piece of ass movie in the history of the world. Or there's someone else that goes, man, this is a fucking forgotten masterpiece. Nobody gives this movie enough credit for how fucking amazing it was. Of course it got shit on when it came out, and it still gets shit on by a lot of people today. But there is a running thread. If you ask somebody about this movie, there's a lot of people who go, man, Predator 2 fucking rocked. Like, it doesn't get credit where it's due. I weirdly understand both. It's a 7 out of 10 for me. The first fucking act of the movie is crazy banana shit fucking cool. Like, you got Danny Glover fucking overacting the shit out of this role. He overacts the entire movie, and he's always just fucking pouring sweat. It's like Saw Danny Glover, just overacting the fuck out of it, and I love it. I'm here for it. But he's playing basically his Lethal Weapon role, which you know I love. This crazy wars going on in the streets, and how they tied in all the crime. The reason I like it is because it feels like a Paul Verhoeven film. The way that they talk about the crime wave and all the shit going on in the media and everything, the way all that works, it feels very Paul Verhoeven-ish, RoboCop, Starship Troopers, and it just kind of feels strange and like it's in another world. And how fucking wild is it just the thought that they're like, Predator in the city, you know? Like, what a cool idea that shit is. And it was brutal as fuck, and it was mean, the way that people were being skinned, and that dude's wiener. And at one point, Danny Glover literally says, when the guy's like, he's like, we want you to listen to the FBI guy's orders. He's like, you're literally cutting my dick off and shoving it up my ass here. Like, it's got that old school, like, I don't give a fuck kind of dialogue that the original Predator had, for better or worse. And fucking Bill Paxton's in this, man. Come on, Bill goddamn Paxton. It's not his best role ever. He's sort of an annoying character, but still, it's Bill fucking Paxton. And this movie is just wild. I mean, it's just wild. It's not perfect. Everyone's guns look fake, and like a 12-year-old created them with like these giant things on them. And there's so much shit that doesn't make sense. Stylistically, this movie just made some weird butt-fuck choices. And it's just a strange looking movie. It's a strange written movie, but it is fun. I mean, it is a fun movie to watch, and I enjoy watching it. Fucking Gary Busey's back in this, and he plays this crazy FBI agent. Even he's playing it straight for a second. And then by the end of the movie, when he unveils his plot to take down these aliens, which is actually not a bad idea. The idea to freeze them so that then you have them, and the thermal imagery and all that shit like that. It's a pretty cool idea. But the way he just loses his shit and goes full fucking banana nutmeg at the end of it, it gets way too Batman Forever-y. It has that Batman and Robin, Batman Forever-y feel to it, when like Predator's on top of a fucking building and like lightning strikes, and the camera would get way too close to his face, so his mask made him look like a Ninja Turtle kinda. But the close-ups on the arms and shit, like, that looked old school, like, I don't know if it's puppetry or fucking practical effects or what, but just the way the skin on the arm looks. There's some up-close shots that are really good, some that are really bad. This weird Batman Forever aesthetic and corniness to some of it, like when Danny Glover goes to meet the guy from fucking Marked for Death. It's like, oh, what the fuck is going on here? And the Predator speaks way too much in this movie, but it does provide for one cool sequence. There's this kid who goes up to him and he's like, you want some candy? And Predator gets Bill Paxton's character in this train, and he mimics the voice. So imagine a Predator walking up to you in a train and going, you want some candy? And right before he kills you, it's fucking Loki's scary as shit. It freaked me the fuck out. And that's not how he sounded at all. It's more like, want some candy? That's not it either.
Come on, motherfucker!
Want some candy?
I can't get it at all. You'll just have to trust me, or maybe I'll put a clip in here. That's fucking freaky, man. Imagine that being your goddamn death. And then at the end of the movie, where they just appear like a group of Ninja Turtles in the goddamn fog, and they're like, hey, what's up, dude? Here's this gun. Good job killing one of us. Have a good day. We're out of here. You know, it was just the weirdest fucking ending for the weirdest fucking movie. And I just appreciate, one, the 90s, 80s, 90s aspect of action that was in there. They don't make them like this anymore. And number one, finally, it's a 10 out of 10. It's the fucking Predator. People saying that Prey was as good as the Predator online, you guys have shit your pants and ate too much Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal. I don't understand what the fuck you guys are thinking if you think that Prey is as good as the original movie. It is one of the greatest action movies of all time. John McTiernan fucking classic. Arnold goddamn Schwarzenegger. And the reason it works so much better than the sequels is because Arnold Schwarzenegger is that dude who we would send to fight an alien. He is our version of the fucking super Predator. You know what I mean? At this time. Dutch was such a cool character, and it was nice to see Arnold up against something that was as grandiose as he is. You know, Stallone did that great in his movies, where Rocky was always the underdog. Schwarzenegger, not so much. He was always larger than life, the Terminator, things like that. So, and that's why Terminator 2 was so great, because the T-1000, you know, he met his meat and licked its ass, met its match and kicked its ass. But, you know, having Schwarzenegger one-on-one with this Predator was just the perfect face-off. And that's what the movie's got to end in. It's got to end in a good face-off. They did a good job with that with Prey, but in this case, it's like the uber face-off, because you get the fucking best we got versus, well, I don't know if it's the best they got, but it's a goddamn Predator. And that was just super cool. And the score and fucking just all of it. Carl Weathers, man. Predator's just a goddamn classic. I mean, you watch that movie and your fucking testosterone levels just go through the roof. You don't need pills anymore. Just watch goddamn Predator, man. They don't make them like that anymore, and it's a fucking classic. So Predator's a 10 out of 10 for me. That's my number one. I know I'm going to get shit for this list. I just don't think there's a right or wrong way to make this list. As long as Predator's at number one, the rest can fall. Results may vary. You can do whatever you want with the rest. And I honestly, I couldn't argue with you. It's a very, very, very strange ranking. So I hope you guys enjoyed mine, and I do want to know yours down below. Love your all's fucking faces. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to spend it with me. You guys have an awesome fucking day.
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, goddamn.
Goddamn you faggot!
I said, goddamn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, goddamn.